agenda with pronouns and all the things, all the things, and people caught on to it immediately. Check this out. However, it struggled with lukewarm reviews and poor ratings, falling out of the top 10 by the third week. Gee, I wonder why. The series remained there until the final, but it finally cracked into the 10th spot with 335 million minutes. But check this out. Something that is believed to be the lowest ever for a Star Wars series finale. And check this out. Before the series aired, Hedlund said that her Star Wars series would be coded colors like the animated children's movie Frozen. Listen to what the creator of The Acolyte had to say.
When I saw Frozen as a grown consumer, I cried through. There was just something about the relationship with the sisters, the devillainization of the classic characters, that guy, the concept of true love in two sisters is not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just completely. And I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this that is, for lack of a better term, Disney. Something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person. But I would have been able to understand as a queer person, and I think I would have had a completely different life.
Okay, so she literally just said that she wanted to create something with this LGBT agenda that was in disguise as for children. She wanted to make it purposely so that your children could go on and watch it and be turned into her, essentially. And, she talks about how evil just true love is. Heterosexual love is so evil. That's a part of the agenda as well, to literally get you to hate love. Is it really a surprise that The Acolyte is getting the worst reviews? Anything that Disney's put out recently, but out of all of Star Wars, it is getting tanked. This is on Rotten Tomatoes. Of course, a lot of the mainstream media is loving on it because it's just so wonderfully diverse, and it adds in all the things that destroy, and that's what they love. But when you look at actual people that are watching the show, they're literally saying you can almost feel the spite and the hatred for the audience. This season was genuinely boring and took some effort to get through. Doesn't bring anything to the universe. Big nonsense. I am a huge Star Wars fan and wanted to love this, but it was horrible. Also, when you go into IMDb, you can see that The Acolyte has just 53,000 one-star reviews. That's it. Not too bad. It's doing pretty good, actually, with how horrible The Acolyte is. Now, this is a weighted review system. So what IMDb does is they'll take all the negative reviews and take a lot of them out so that it can better show their bias for wanting to push their agenda. In fact, the score is 4.1 out of 10. So this is them, literally changing their review to be as high as they can possibly make it without people catching on to it. But the actual review is 3.7. That's the unweighted average review. 3.7 out of 10. And people didn't see this coming before the show came out, and while the show was airing, they did stuff like this interview right here that gave everything away. society that we can all just come up with our own truths, create our own realities. And when they clash, just whichever one is more radical wins. But they're sitting here laughing about how the acolyte is the guest Star Wars. And then it's telling you that characters that already existed, that you already know and love, are now gay. You don't have a choice. That's just what it is now. They are twisting and contorting things that are already established to push their agenda. You know, at this point, Disney's been canceling stuff left and right. They're losing billions and billions of dollars. Disney is like this, and they just can't understand why. They are still being funded by the elites that have the money and the power to continue to feed the beast of Disney, to continue to put out this agenda, to indoctrinate and affect your children, all while losing money. This is Matthew chapter 15, and I want to show you a verse here. This is when the disciples came to Jesus and told Jesus that the Pharisees were offended